Hi, I'm Mike with Great Rock Real Estate, and I'm here today with Michael Rutter from Rutter Plumbing. And the reason that I invited him to come on today is he has a wonderful story to tell, especially for such a young age. Michael, I'll let you introduce yourself and a little bit about what you do and what you did, your major accomplishment.
All right, cool. So, as Mike said, I'm Michael with Rutter Plumbing, and my family owns the company, so that's what I do for a living every day. And got married about 2 years ago. My wife and I were starting to look for a house, and everything was kind of priced out of the market for us. So we decided to rent something, live in real cheap, and build instead. So we went ahead and financed just under 3 acres, and then went ahead and built a house from the ground up. So it took us a year and a half to accomplish, but we dug the hole, formed and poured our own foundation, and with the help of a lot of friends, got everything else accomplished from framing, tile work. Obviously we did the plumbing, electrical, we insulated.
You bartered some of this too?
Yep, exactly.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah, so we bartered out the cabinetry, the counters, the drywall work, the electrical work. We have friends that did the mechanical for us, hired out the brickwork. So we roofed it ourselves, hired out the gutters. So
yep, and everything was done with a permit. Everything was totally on the up and up.
Correct. Permit inspection.
Yep.
Went through a construction loan with the bank, so everything passed in flying colors, and we own a home.
Yep. Yeah. No, that's definitely the condensed version, because Michael built not too far from where Bernice and I live. It's roughly about 2.5, 3 miles. And I think that we were probably one of his best cheerleaders, because we'd go out every couple of weeks or maybe once a month and check on his progress. And it certainly was a process, but just, fabulous progress. Every time we went out, there was always something new, and see him out there and ankle deep in mud.
More often than I'd like.
Probably more often than not, for sure. And during that time, you lived on the cheap, saved all your money, plowed it into it, and came out with some really nice equity on the other end, and a fabulous house, in a great area. And you told me once, but I can't remember, what was the appreciation that you saw between the time you started to build and the bank said, okay, we think this is what it's going to be worth at the end, and the actual appraisal at the end when you converted the construction loan to a real regular mortgage? What kind of appreciation did you see?
So over that 18-month process from when we broke ground to when we completed all the documentation with the bank and got our CO from the city, we appreciated 20%.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. A lady on the phone from the bank, she made me pretty happy.
I'll bet. Yeah, I'll bet she did. That is pretty awesome. Now, of course, those results aren't always typical. We are in a great market, and his timing was very good. But even if you didn't build, even if you just bought a home, and 18 months ago, you would have seen roughly the same appreciation, depending on the area. But in this area, you likely would have, and also you would have probably built even more equity if you had to fix it up some. You don't have to do everything, but some kitchen counters or some simple stuff. You don't necessarily have to build a house in order to realize those kinds of equity gains. And one thing, another reason that I wanted to interview you is some of the gurus out there actually give the advice to younger people not to buy a home, at least not until they start investing in real estate. And I think that's a mistake. I really do. And the reason that I think it's a mistake is I think that it's a wonderful way to get started in real estate, is buying a home, building a home, fixing something up if you're just buying, etc., and building equity. And now, Michael, I think that you have quite a nice little pile of equity to be able to move on to your next step in real estate investing.
Exactly. We only ended up financing about 40% the value of the home by the time we finished.
Wow.
So granted, we appreciated 20% of that,
Yep.
During the construction process.
Yep.
But it was all done on sweat equity.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like you said, if you had purchased something and worked on it,
Yep.
Or you decided to build, or you just decided to do some upgrades to an existing house, you can easily, get into the market like that.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
And then it's going into your pocket.
Yep. I once heard somebody say that opportunity often comes disguised in coveralls. I don't remember where I heard that, but I've heard that, and I think it to be very true.
Yeah.
Very
yeah,
true.
and boots.
Yeah, that's right, for the mud. Yeah. And I also think that you upgraded your skill set by getting certified to do septic. Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And fire suppression as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, luckily I had a slight advantage growing up, with my father starting the plumbing business and growing up doing that. I knew a lot of good people within a lot of the trades that were able to help along the way. But I also had to hone in some of those skills on my own to accomplish the task. So,
Trial by fire.
oh yeah, one of the biggest is actually was the permitting process and everything through the county.
Yep.
That's a little more rigorous than you would expect it to be.
Yep.
And definitely takes a lot of time to make sure you get everything perfect for the inspections, but well worth it. I mean, it's the
Yep.
only way you could build a house
Absolutely.
and
Yep.
go through the bank.
Yep. Well, nowadays, I mean, people struggle to put 5% down on a house, and of course, there's all these government programs where you can get away with only $1,000 down and basically borrow the rest. So even at 5% down, you're 95% loan to value. Michael's 40%
Yeah.
loan to value. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
That is a bell ringer. 40% loan to value. So Michael, what would you do different? What would you do different if you had to do it again? No, when you do it again.
Yeah, we're gonna do it again. I'm already planning on trying to do it again.
Awesome.
So definitely, I learned what to sub out to somebody who's more skilled and what to do myself. We formed and poured the foundation and the footings, and it took me probably 4 or 5 times longer than it should have.
Yep.
And in the long run, I probably did it for about the same price that I could have paid somebody to do it for.
Yep.
So, just important things like that. But as long as you learn as you go,
Yep.
you're making progress.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And now you'll have that skill set, whether you use it in the future or not, you'll at least have it. So if you do hire it out, you know what to look for, what not to, so on.
Exactly.
So you'll be a better supervisor
Yeah.
in the future because of it. So what was the best? What was the best part of it?
Probably just getting to see everybody. How many people came out, yourself and Bernice, and my mom came out all the time. When my aunt and uncle came in from out of state, they came out to see it, and my brother helped, and just, it was kind of nice to get everybody to help you get a step up,
Yep. Keep you motivated.
Yeah.
Keep you going.
Yeah, well, after 18 months, it's easy to start to lose track of where you got to be.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But like I said earlier, you really did make good progress as you went, and you could see it. It must have been a real sense of accomplishment
oh yeah.
as you go, and then when it's finally done, you move in.
Oh yeah.
Did you carry your bride across the threshold?
No. We got married about 2 years before that, so she was a blessing. She was patient the whole time.
Yep.
Um,
Awesome.
so hopefully, I believe our marriage is stronger too for it.
Yep.
If you can overcome a hurdle like that, you're in good shape.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Well, it's hard work paying off. Well, I think I think we pretty much covered everything. I think that's about it. Thank you very much for coming and
Yeah.
telling your story. Greatly appreciated.
Absolutely.
And until next time.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mike.
Yep. Thank you.